Okay, so let's start off with the history of Dying Embrace, how you guys came to be what you were, and eventually come up to your reunion, which was last year at Undergrind.
Yeah. We formed in 91 as Misanthrope. Jimmy Palkiwala, the guitar player, formed the band, and I officially joined the band around about 94. And 96 we changed the moniker to Dying Embrace. And 2001 we disbanded, mainly for the reason because two of our members, the drummer Daniel Mark David as well as the bass player Jai, had to move out of Bangalore because of work related reasons. We didn't find ideal members at that time, so we preferred, instead of compromising with the sound or the compositions we wrote, we preferred disband. We went on to do other music, of course, but that's another story. 2011, we came back as Dying Embrace with a good old friend of mine, Deepak, on drums. Charlie was doing Undergrind, Putrit Pile was headlining, and Charlie basically asked me if I would like to play, albeit with another project. But I thought, why not give Dying Embrace a shot? Rest is history.
Okay, coming back to your reunion at Undergrind, how did the whole association with Deepak happen, and how do you feel about Dying Embrace from Undergrind 2011 up till now, about the fan base in and around Bangalore, the whole scene?
I knew Deepak for quite some time. I actually knew him from about, say, 2006. We knew each other online. He was based in Chennai. He was doing a lot of other music as well, and we had kept in touch for some time. 2008, Deepak and myself actually formed Pillbox 666. It's another side project which I have now with Nolan Lewis from Cryptos and Ganesh from Devarsi on bass. We had a couple of rehearsals back then in 2008, but since Deepak was based in Chennai, we had a big logistic problem of him coming down every time for rehearsals. At the same time, Deepak moved to LA to the drum school, and Pillbox was put in a back burner kind of a situation. I think late 2010, Deepak came back to Kerala, back home, and we got in touch again. And Deepak said he's coming back to he's moving to Bangalore. He was joining Devarsi as well on drums, and he said he's open to do some new music with me if I'm interested. So I thought, who better than get Deepak on drums, because his style of playing is very unique, fantastic musician, and he's really gelled well with the band. I think given the band sound a real fresh dimension. Talking about from 2011 to 2012 right now, Dying Embrace, musically as well as playing live, I think we played some fantastic shows with some fantastic organizers, very good fests which have happened over the years. The band is surprisingly to us, a lot of the younger generation has really taken well to our music. Some of the songs almost written 20 years ago, pretty much buried. We never thought we'll ever play it to an audience ever, but playing some songs which are like 15, 16 years old and still finding the younger generation now liking them and appreciating the music. That's a real shot in the arm for us. So I think we really owe it to the fans, because if we are still playing live, because 2011 Undergrind was actually supposed to be a one-off reunion gig. We hadn't thought that we'll play a show after that one show. But shows have been coming in, good shows, and things are going good.
What do you have to say about the new lineup with Pritham on bass, and what direction does that give Dying Embrace from now on?
Okay. The direction is going to be the same. We're going to still play our brand of doom-laden death metal. There's not going to be a change in direction, of course. That there'll never be. Pritham, again, is a friend I've known for, say, 10, 12 years, for a very long time. Absolutely brilliant musician, solo artist, plays fantastic, has fantastic side projects which he's done a lot of music with a lot of different genres and with a lot of other musicians as well. The advantage with Pritham is basically there's no need for us to tell him anything or of any of the compositions or the songs what has to be done. He's basically a absolute natural musician, so he's able to configure out everything, the entire set list for BOA, what he's going to be playing. He's actually put it all together being in Bangalore right now. So he's only coming down early next week for rehearsals. But he's already ready with all the tracks, and we couldn't have asked for a better musician to join us on bass. So he's made the lineup complete, I think, for us.
How does it feel to be a part of Bangalore Open Air, such a big stage probably for the first time for Dying Embrace, and with this lineup? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, BO is happening. BO is I think probably one of the best things which could have happened to Dying Embrace. We have always played club venues after we reunited. Of course, back then we have played all open air but all smaller venues. But playing something like this, a fest of this nature, I think is for the first time. And we're really looking forward to this. Thanks to Salman and the entire BOA crew for considering Dying Embrace to play. And it's been a good, very positive vibe we have had. The organizers have been fantastic. We've got very good support from the crew, and at the same time fantastic support from the fans. A lot of fans coming from all over India as well as out of India coming for the show. A lot of them who want to see Dying Embrace. At the same time, an opportunity to share stage with I think probably some of the best bands India has got right now. Beversi from Bangalore, of course. We got Cryptos from Bangalore. Then of course Albatross coming down from Bombay. I haven't seen 1833 AD live, but I'm looking forward to watch their show as well. And of course EP is playing, and the biggest highlight is Creator, of course. So they are our idols. We grew up listening to them. There was a time back, I think early 90s, and we actually used to, in our rehearsals, we used to do a cover of Creator's People of the Lie. And now thinking back, it really comes as a more of a dream come true types, a band which we never thought probably we'll ever see live. We're seeing them live at the same time, sharing stage and playing the same fest with them. So of course, big horns up for BOA.
It's a song by Bolt Thrower called Where Next to Conquer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that for my next question. Where next for Dying Embrace? Are you guys planning on a full-length album with this lineup, or do you guys have like a tour in mind? You want to do like a nationwide tour, or what do you like a small EP or further releases? What is it that Dying Embrace intends to do?
We basically plan to do a single this year. We've written a new single which we debuted at Translaughter Fest 2. It's called The Ascendance of Namtar. We wrote this song almost after 11 years. The crowd response is fantastic. People love the song. People who heard the song really loved it. We loved writing the song. Of course, the song is big progression from our earlier compositions. Jimmy's written some fantastic riffs, and I think we put together a great song. We plan to do a single sometime this year, release it as a single, and probably by end of next year we plan to do an EP again, which will be a proper full-length EP with about 3 or 4 songs. We'll take things as they come. We are not in a hurry. We've always been a band which never hurries up, never writes songs in a hurry. We always wrote songs very well spaced out, probably a song every 6 months. So we're going to follow the same blueprint. We're going to take it very easy, write quality songs over quantity. So definitely there's new material coming your way, but you got to wait and watch. At the same time, just keep track on what's happening with the band, so you'll know what's coming next. But this year definitely is there'll be a single out by Dying Embrace.
Take us through the writing process in Dying Embrace. You guys have a lot of mythology in your music, like you include stuff like Dagda and Namtar. So where does that come from? Who writes the lyrics, and how does it all fit into the music?
Okay. Basically, most of the songwriting is done by Jimmy, the guitar player, and myself. Jim writes all the riffs, puts the entire structure together. I think he's probably one of the most fantastic musicians I'm honored to work with, because I was first a fan of the band and then I got to join them. So basically, we write, most of the songs are written in a slightly different way. We write songs separately, in the sense Jimmy puts the riffs, I write the lyrics, and then we fit it in together. We are very inspired, or rather we read, a lot of occult, a lot of medieval mythology, a lot of things to do with the dark side, and anything which is basically obscure and forbidden generally takes Dying Embrace fancy and interest. And we've always liked something which is, as we say, the untrodden path or something like that. And we always like to write something about the darker side of life. And all our songs have always dealt with. I wouldn't say our songs are pessimistic, but we'll definitely say that it depends on how the listener takes our music. And there are some songs which probably give a very negative vibe. But then when you write very heavy music, you got to have equally heavy lyrics to go with it. We can't have heavy riffs and I can't have a nice love song written to that. So I got to write a dark song to go with those riffs. So basically, I think me and Jim basically go hand in glove with this thing. The songs are kind of an alchemy which both of us put together, and we write songs which end up sounding very dark and foreboding. But yes, we've always been fascinated with a lot of mythological characters like Dagda, Namtar. Always taken our fancy, and we have always been inspired by things like that, demigods and stuff of the older, the pagan gods and things like that. So it's always something to do with history or the past. At the same time, a lot of songs deal with death, which is probably the final truth and reality which all of us face. So that's what most of the songs are.
Tell us something about your projects when Dying Embrace was on a hiatus, Conflicting Theories and Gruesome Malady.
Alright, both these projects basically started off as fun projects. Dying Embrace had disbanded in 2001, and our drummer had moved out to Calcutta and on work. And basically myself and Jim, the first couple of months we got bored just sitting down twiddling our thumbs and not having anything to do on weekends, and we were used to having fun rehearsals, jams and things like that. And Danny had basically, we used to rehearse at my place, and Danny had basically left his drum kit over at my place, and it was just basically gathering dust. And basically Gruesome Malady, or rather both Gruesome Malady and Conflicting Theories, where I played drums on both the projects, the reason was we were listening to this band Mortician back then, and which they use a drum machine, and Jimmy just basically told me, if we had something like this, I could have probably laid some riffs on and we could have done vocals. Of course, back then there was not much access to technology, not much access to internet, so we couldn't download any softwares or use any kind of drum programs or whatever. So basically, I had Danny's drum kit lying at home. So what I told Jim is, okay, let me give it a shot, and I started basically playing the drums. Basically blast beats, that's all I played, a lot of variations of blast beats. So we started basically playing, rehearsing, and basically that's how Conflicting Theories was born. It took a further step because we played Strawberry Fields, I think around about 2001, I think, and somebody wrote a review of the day's event, and it was published on some website, and American grind death metal band Engorged their vocalist basically stumbled upon the review. He read the review, and basically we played that gig as an instrumental grind band, just myself on drums and Jimmy on guitars, and no bass, no vocals. What everybody, basically the people there called it hurricane grind. And he basically evinced interest that if we send him material, he can lay on vocal tracks for us. And we basically wrote a entire full-length album, 16 songs, almost 45 minutes long album, which we recorded, sent it over to the US. Ben Vargas, the vocalist, he laid on the vocal tracks, made a fantastic album. We haven't yet released it, still looking for an ideal label to put this out. Back then we sent it to a couple of labels, but they found it a little too extreme for that time. But probably, who knows, in the future we probably may get it out. Gruesome Malady happened side by side at the same time. Ben Vargas basically did that one thing, and then Ben Vargas dropped out of the scene for some personal reasons. He wasn't doing music anymore. But I was continuing playing drums, Jim was continuing writing riffs. And Jim said, okay, why don't we get into a studio, record some tracks and see what else we can come up with. What came out was Gruesome Malady, which was absolutely pitch shifted, processed vocals, which I did. And we did something totally opposite of what Dying Embrace was. The songs were absolutely spastic tech grind, tracks with a lot of gore, and we had a great time doing the stuff. We did a couple of tracks, we did a demo. Of course, we didn't know anybody here in India would like it. Sent it out abroad, and immediately Bizarre Leprous Productions from Czech Republic signed us for a full-length album. We released a full-length album in 2003 with Bizarre Leprous, and then it was I think the next 3 years were absolutely fantastic. We did a split CD in 2004 with this all-girl grind band called Mortuary Hacking Session, which came out in the US on a label called Last House on the Right. Then we did a split CD with the Polish grind band Pathologicum, which came out in 2005. 2006 we did Impedigo tribute CD, which we took part in, and we did the song Boneyard as a tribute to Impedigo. It was an absolute roll. Those 4 years, the kind of material we wrote close to almost 20-25 songs, did these releases with these absolutely fantastic underground labels, met a whole lot of people online. I mean, the internet was opening up, got to know so many people. It was a fantastic time, and everything was absolutely drenched in gore and alcohol. So it was a fun years. But 2007 we disbanded Gruesome Malady as well, and then we went off for a couple of years. That's about it.
Okay. Last question is, how do you think bands survive in India, and what do you think it takes for a band to go all the way and to accomplish something, and possibly point out examples of some bands who have really done it, and something for the future bands as well, as in what they need to do and what they need to look into?
See, first and foremost is you need integrity. Number two is you actually can last long, or whatever it is, if you actually love your music. We never thought Dying Embrace will be back 20 years later. No way, we never ever thought of that. But the thing was, we always were the same. We never changed. Our musical interests were the same. So for us, it didn't matter whether some new trend came in or some new style of music was the rage of the season or whatever. We continued listening to what we listened to all our lives. Still listen to the same thing, and probably will listen to the same thing forever. And that's what probably helped us stay with the way we are, create the music we want, and in turn we find more and more people who are able to connect, appreciate and like the music we are doing, even now after 20 years. Secondly, I don't think a band should set itself a target, in the sense I should get here or get there, or some kind of a whatever achievement level. I mean, then there's no difference between your job and your music. I think the first and foremost thing is you got to look at your music as your love, and only then you can actually do justice to your music. If you look at it as a job, then I don't think you'll be able to put in much love, because I don't think none of us love our jobs too much. So, so it's basically, I think music has to be come from deep within. I think bands right now, I think I have seen which have lasted, I think, for quite some time. A band which has lasted quite some time, stayed the way it is, no change, I think is Cryptos. I know Nolan for like close to 12, maybe longer years. The great thing was we played the last few Dying Embrace shows which we played before disbanding were played with Cryptos. A lot of shows were played with the same time and Cryptos had just formed. And I find the same integrity in Nolan even now, today. The band is still writing the same style of music they're set to write. They've been absolutely dedicated to what they're doing the same style of music, playing old school metal, which is really, I really appreciate. Doing 3 albums in a span of 10 years is something really good, really great. Now the upcoming band, which I have found doing absolutely great strides, is I think Baversi. One is they're all very good friends of mine, known them for a long time. Over the last year, I think Baversi is, I don't know, pretty much I think a lot of the local metalheads have all pretty much turned Baversis. So I think they've gone to a great extent in showing a lot of younger bands how shows are done, how a band plays a very professional show, puts a good gig out, and basically gives, you know, the paying crowd the bang for their buck. So I think a lot of good things to learn from Baversi and Cryptos. Further from the crop, I think, of course, upcoming just now, I think, of course, Shepherd, excellent sludge shit, they're doing very good stuff. And of course, Dvesha, which is their local boys. I think they are very good. For the last 1 year, I've been watching them and following up what they're doing. I think they're going in the right direction. Songwriting is fantastic. I would have actually loved to see them at BOA actually. So that's one small thing which I have is it would have been good if I had seen Dvesha playing there. Of course, I'm not only talking about the Bangalore bands. Albatross has surprised me a lot because in the initial stage, I wasn't being very frank, Riju, good friends, but I always made fun of his artwork for the first album. I didn't find it too appealing, having that face on the cover with that apple in the mouth or whatever. And but I think as musicians, they have done a great job. The new split with Vestal Claret, I've been listening to it. I owe Riju a review, which I will do soon. It's really good. I think they're going all out, promoting themselves, doing a good effort, not just relying on where they started out, but instead breaking away from where they started off and actually moving ahead and going on with what they set out to do. So I think Albatross is also very good, a band to look forward to, I think, in the future. Apart from that, I think bands which I would like to say are doing good, not much. I think these are about it, which I think which come to my mind right now. That's about it.
Final thoughts for the people listening to this, watching this, and for all the fans of Dying Embrace.
To the fans of Dying Embrace, first and foremost, thank you. I don't think the band would have been where it is today without you. So I think we owe completely, I think what we are today, why the band is today, is just because of you. So each one of you, too many to name, plenty of you, but every single one of you, I think most of you I know you by name. You guys fucking rule. You guys are the best. I mean, you brought us till here. We really look forward to seeing you at all our other shows. To other people, metalheads or not non-metalheads, whatever, do what you love, do what you believe in, stay true to what really takes you forward, takes what you believe in. Uh, People, ultra brutal and uber cult people can just fuck off and die. That's about it.